Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe, and I mean staying safe in a lot of different reasons. We're living in a very strange, uneasy time right now. We're still dealing with the effects of the coronavirus. Still under lockdown in a lot of areas. We're slowly phasing in here in New York, in my parts at least. In other parts, they're a little more accelerated. We're dealing with protests, riots, and a lot of things that, we don't really have logical solutions for right now. Now, I usually stay away from political kind of things, and I usually stay away from talking about anything that's not really real estate related on this channel. It's supposed to be more of fun, more of a real estate related kind of thing, business oriented, but I think it would be, on my end, irresponsible to not talk about this in any way, and especially the fact that I am part of the media. I do have the real estate plate that airs on WGBB, and even though I don't like to be part of the media and kind of anti-media, even though I do it, I tend to, how you call it, I need to dive into some of this stuff every so often, because, as a person that's in the service industry, as a person that deals with a lot of people on a daily basis, of all creeds, white, black, African American, Chinese, it doesn't matter what you are. I deal with everybody. I sell homes, I lease spaces, I rent out homes, I deal with everybody. And a lot of my friends, clients, customers, people that I deal with have been really affected by a lot of this stuff. And it's a little insane, and I just want to put my 2 cents into it. Like right now, I'm driving into Queens. I'm kind of rushing to go to Queens because I need to attempt to collect some rents. I've talked about this in the past on the channel, the landlord-tenant situation that's happening over here. It's futile in a lot of ways, but I have to keep trying. Water bills, utility bills, mortgages, they also have to get paid, and revenue has to come in from somewhere. But with this whole George Floyd situation is really upsetting. It's really uncomfortable for a lot of people, and because the man got murdered. Any way you want to put it, he got murdered. He was killed. What he did, I don't think was something that should have been punishable by death. He got caught for forging, or there's a lot of different things that are out there. We don't have the exact story, but he was basically caught for forging or giving out counterfeits, whatever he was doing. It's non-violent. The police officer that put his knee on his neck and ended up killing him because he wasn't listening to the man not being able to breathe. There's no excuse for that. So what's happening now is you're seeing riots starting to come up. Originally it was supposed to be protests, and now it's riots that are happening all across the nation. Here in New York, we're not excluded, and there's a lot of stuff going on. We have a curfew in place starting tonight at 11 o'clock, which is something that we haven't had here in New York in years. And that should tell you how extreme this situation is. The last time, as far as what my research showed, that we had a curfew here in New York was in 1943. And unfortunately, it had to do with police again at that point. point, from what my records show, is that there was an African American veteran that was killed at that time, which incited a lot of other riots as well during that time. So, the reaction doesn't change as far as people's outrage. The times might change, but the reaction doesn't change. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of dirty politics happening right now. You're seeing a lot of people harping on and jumping onto this whole situation, trying to publicize it and politicize it for their own agendas. I'm not going to get into which politicians are doing what, whatever the case is. Everybody has their own eyes. They could see exactly what's happening. But, it's one of those things that I feel that we need to find solutions. Stop pointing. Stop getting out of this whole COVID situation that we're in right now. Trying to get somewhat back into normalcy, some kind of life where we need to try to find a way to possibly get our economy jump started, get people back to work. I mean, unemployment's at astronomical rates right now. We've never seen this kind of unemployment before. Instead of like seeing the situation that we're in right now and trying to unify and do the right thing by each other and do the right thing for our country as a whole, we have all this stuff coming up right now. There's no words for what we're dealing with right now. The thing is, I don't have the solution. I'm not the person that actually has the answers. I don't think anybody has the right answers. But what I think needs to be done is to see some kind of action. The people that are rioting, I don't think are doing the right thing as far as rioting. Protesting is one thing, and I'm all for the protesting. But rioting and looting is not something that should be happening right now. I could see the outrage. I could see people like being livid and not willing to stand for this, and I can't blame them. This is not a small thing that's happening right now, but those people that with those little storefronts, those little mom and pop shops that just got broken into and they're getting looted and robbed and people are getting hurt, I don't think they're the ones that should be paying for that either. I don't know what the right solution is, but rioting is definitely not the right deal. All it's going to do is bring more violence. And you don't want a situation where tensions are already at the highest they could possibly be at this point. And putting more and more people in situations where riots could cause more people to get hurt is not a good situation at all. Yeah, right now the police, you see some of the cases where the police are trying to work with the public. We had situations where police officers were kneeling with the protesters, and that's the right direction. It's the right way to possibly get ourselves on the same page, kind of a thing. It's not the solution, but it's eking towards the right direction. However, if there's more and more riots going on, what's going to happen is it's going to bring more violence. I mean, you're going to cause all other incidents. I don't want to see our country ever instead of complete chaos and almost to a point of like a civil war kind of a situation, because that's basically what we're looking at. You're looking at, it's not even classes, it's not even races, I think, anymore. I think it's much bigger now. It's a question of right and wrong, and what was done is wrong. But at the same time, rioting is definitely not the way to go forward. Uh, I don't feel that it's going to be productive in a way. I mean, that's coming from me. I don't know of any other time where riots accomplished what the idea and the mindset was supposed to be. And I think that these protests are starting off in the right direction, and you're having people that have their own agendas and their own you know, intents that are not on the up and up, and not intending to do the right thing, and it's making it worse for everybody else. I just want to see everybody as safe as possible. I don't want to see this continuing. It's really tough to see a place that I love and the people that I love around me like in terror. It's one of those things that we need to reach out to the politicians to do the right thing. And Cuomo came out earlier and said that we need to give options and not just open questions. But you tell me what the right option is, what the right solution is, because I don't feel that anybody has that answer. Because if they did, it would have already been implemented. Obviously, the police officers that were associated with this should be tried and should go and get locked up until we get all the right things out as far as what the story was. I mean, the video is pretty self-explanatory about what happened. Anybody that saw the 7-minute video that's out there with George Floyd being murdered can agree to that, but it's tough. It's very, very tough. I'm sorry if you guys are seeing a very poor stream right now. I've been in the process over the past few days of trying to perfect doing live streams while on the road. It's very tough, especially the fact that I can't. I need to use the mobile data that I'm using, and that's not always the most reliable. And at the same time, you also, depending on using mobile devices, like right now I'm using my phone as my video. You gotta also be safe. You can't hold a video, and you can't do anything if it's now hands-free while you're driving. You gotta be very careful, and you gotta follow the laws. And I don't want to lose my license, and I don't want to get a ticket. So you have to do the right thing with that. But it's very odd, the life that we have right now. I'm gonna end this stream right now because I really just don't know how much more to say about this. I wish I had a better thought, but I just felt I needed to say something at this point. I think everybody should put out something out there, especially people that are part of the media, and take a stance one way or the other. Don't have to be polarizing. We don't have to be political, but we should at least show that we're looking at what's happening and basically trying to get involved in any way possible. So be well, stay safe, and I hope that our current crisis situation much sooner than later, finds some type of resolution.